And welcome back to another episode of the Sports Card Dad. And we have a 20 minutes with maybe 20, 25, 30. We'll have to see how it goes. We've got, how do I even put this? You've like taken the YouTube world by storm. It's Professor Sports Cards out of nowhere. How you doing, man?
Hey now. No, I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. You know what's crazy is I've been watching your channel for a long time. Actually, I was thinking back to it. I mean, obviously, you've kind of burst on the scene here recently. I like the stuff that you've been doing, but you're not a brand new channel. You know, you've been around for three and a half years, something like that.
Yep. Yeah. 3.5. It's just, it took a long time to get a bump.
Yeah. So did you make a conscious decision to kind of switch your content around a certain way to attempt for that bump? Or were you like, how did you come to it? Because you did a little bit of a shift. Now, I wouldn't say that you completely changed your whole channel because you didn't. There was a lot of kind of the same topics, but maybe you kind of like constructed it a different way or you presented it a little bit differently.
No, it is a good question. There was a series of 5 videos. I did a 5-video series and that kind of dug into, and I noticed, oh, that's doing pretty well. And I still did my stuff. And then I realized like, man, I did a very well-researched video on Arena Club and all the ads we got and everything. And that blew up and that got me a lot of views. And when I noticed, man, there's no sports card radio right now. And I'm not sports card radio, but there is a lane for that. And so I already have my issues. I have videos from a year or two ago, all talking about my issues. But I did realize like there's nobody doing this right now. And there's clearly a need for it. I still make content. I feel I don't try to go out of my way to make sports card radio content. I make content I find genuine and problems that I have or good things that I have. It just happens to be I have a lot more problems with the industry right now.
Well, yeah, so one thing that kind of echoes from sports card radio, one of the things that they've talked about, and I've noticed that you have too, is kind of the fight against the corporate shill content creators, me being one of those, not saying you're coming at me, but I'm included in that bucket. My face has been on a few thumbnails. But I did hear a couple of different times on either videos, live streams, that you are open to a sponsorship outside of the industry, not hobby related, kind of like what I did with Magic Spoon cereal. What are your plans when your current audience turns on you for being the corporate shill that you spoke out against?
All right, so
we're coming in with a tough question.
Let's take it a few ways. It's very sensitive because sure, I don't like all the dirty sponsors. I have reached out to one company in the past 2 months and we've been in talks and one company only. I've gotten different random, not card people. That's not true. I've gotten different card, nothing for money, nothing for this, but I'm talking with Card Ladder currently. I use Card Ladder since its inception. I use Card Ladder should be paying me. I use them on the live all the time. I use them in my videos all the time. You know, Jeff has Market Movers and they're pushing that thing all the time. So to stay relevant, and maybe I'm spoiler, I don't know if I should share this, but whatever. I'm not sharing anything crazy. No, so it's, you know, we're in conversations. It takes a while to get approved because this was just recent. And there's a way of doing it. I feel that as long as you're not brash about it, as long as you're not, you know, and I believe in the product, I'll only take a sponsor I believe in that I'd like to take something I use. And you know, we're also content creators. So this light I'm looking at, why couldn't I get a sponsorship from the light? And, but you know, I'll push back to you. I can't put it at the beginning of my video. I don't even want to say I don't even want to do an ad read. I just, and that's what I propose with him. I don't, sure, I could talk about, I could say it's sponsored, but I don't really, the ad reads or the product you push and how you push it matter. Definitely matter, you know?
Okay. So yeah, well, you mentioned throwing it back at me. I think what I try to do, and this isn't with every sponsorship that I've had, but I make an attempt to try to get some sort of a promotion code or something for, you know, first time buyer, try it out. And that's really for viewership to give something back. Like, hey, I know you're listening to this ad and that's kind of annoying, but with the goal of like, hey, maybe I can save you a few bucks. You know, that's my thought of like the ad read part. You know, whether it's, you know, Card Capsule with $25 off or PSA with $25 off or whatever. So, you know, to me, I kind of look at it from the other angle of like, you know, if you're getting a sponsorship, but you're not really offering, or like, you know, there's no ad read, well, then what's the point? I guess, like, what's the point for, you know, like, are you just going to put like at the beginning of the video, like, I like Card Ladder. All right. So, like, and back to the video, or you mix it in like, you have like a card ladder mug that you like a product placement thing where you're talking, but you're like, like in movies.
I guess just specifically on this one, I use them for 40 minutes researching, and I do tell them, I've told my viewers non-sponsored that I find them the most visual friendly. I find it the easiest. There's no need for me to switch to another. So again, they should already be paying me for saying some of this stuff to my viewers. So I have no problem. I don't even think I need to go above and beyond saying, hey, I'm sponsored, maybe, but as long as I promote their product and do it in a good way, that is promotion, so
yeah. Well, you
for
got
the company.
You want to disclose, obviously, because you don't want your viewers to not know that you are. So you'll
fair. That's fair.
But you're right, though. Card ladder or market movers, it's kind of because it's a visual tool that we use, especially in the videos that you're talking about, where it's looking at like prices moving up or down. It's very easy to show their product without it being like pushed in somebody's face. So I get that.
That's right.
They're kind of an exception, though, in that way. That's. Go ahead.
That's true. No, that's true. The way, yes, there's not many products you could use like that in your video where it's so natural.
So I don't know any content creator that's taken sponsorship that hasn't like at least lost some viewership, or viewership is just like, dude, you sold out. You sold out. Are you okay? Are you ready for that? How are you?
I've had these conversations with my viewers on the live. Now that's not all my viewers, but they say as long as it's something I believe in and not something that I'm shilling, that they don't have them themselves. Now, well, certain ones, yes, certain ones will. And by the way, I haven't got sponsored yet, so we're talking, in the future because it's in talks. And I wouldn't put it in every video. All my videos are not going to be Arena Club, never. Card ladder sponsorships, so it will be done tastefully. I would do it. And sure, maybe I get pushback and I deal with that at the time. That'll be interesting. But I've definitely thrown it out there. I definitely have had talks with people about it. And yes, it is there's a reason I've only reached out to one company. Yeah.
Well, and the only reason why I bring that up is ironic. And it's not just, buddy, like over the last 5 years, I've known so many content creators that have talked down on me for like taking a sponsorship or doing this or that or whatever. And then they finally go to the dark side. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're part of it now, my friend.
If you had waited till as a viewer for a couple years in the beginning, if you had waited till the 8th minute, the 10th minute, it felt shoved down our throat. That's how I felt. It felt, oh, he's doing this so early. And I watched this other guy with hundreds of thousands of views in his video. And it's not sports cards. And they don't do this. And it's like, why wouldn't I don't want this. So that I do think there is the approach matters. And I mentioned to you at the National, I'd love to see it not in the beginning. And do you still run the ads in the beginning? I'm assuming yes.
Sometimes I mix them in. Actually, this is a perfect time in this video to mix an ad in right now.
No way.
I'm going to clip that in. Huge thanks to our channel partners, PSA. For new time submitters, if you have a friend that hasn't submitted, SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen. Take $25 off that first submission over there at PSA. JustCollect.com. You got a collection to sell. You have no idea where to go with it, whether it's vintage or modern. JustCollect.com's got a very easy appraisal site. Easy peasy. Leighton Sheldon and the team will take care of you. You need supplies. Card Capsule is the place to go, whether it's top loaders, semi-rigids, cases. Card Capsule will take care of you. $25 off your first $100 spend over at Card Capsule with the SCD25 promo code. Make sure to take advantage of all the hobby discounts down in my video description as well as in the pinned comments. Back to the show. That's perfect.
Wait, I thought it was real. It's not real?
No, I'm going to edit that in, and that's going to be absolute gold.
No, right, please.
So the reason why I go on the
Hey, good joke. That was fun. I thought you were really about to do an ad. I really thought you were about to do an ad.
Well, so the finished product will have an ad in there, but yes, right now we don't have an ad in. Buddy, you are like the king of editing. You know how it works. I'm going to edit. I'll post edit it in. Easy peasy.
Hey,
it's easier on these like 30-minute shows because it's like we're at the 8-minute mark. So like now it's coming in like on the 8-minute mark. But the reason why I do in the usually like first 2 minutes of a 10-minute video is because if you look at like YouTube analytics, viewership drops off as the video goes. So you might have 100% at like 1 second. And then as your video goes, it'll steadily drop down. So like at 2 minutes, it might be 70% of the people that first clicked on it. So that's part of the reason, is just to give the companies that I'm working with, it gives them kind of like maximum exposure. I try to keep it short. I try to keep it kind of, quick and easy, but I totally get it, man. I mean, we talked about this I think on your stream. I just made that choice. It's been almost 4 years since I took my first sponsorship, but it was a choice where I was like, I know look, I've lost a lot of viewers over the years, totally, like yourself. And you mentioned it. I had to make the choice of, am I going to kind of go down this road and make money outside of YouTube rev, which frankly in sports cards is just not very much. And, or do I stay on the path of no sponsorship and I'll just be okay making less? And that's just the decision I made, and I had to live with it. So for better or worse, that's kind of the way that it went down. But yeah, we will come back to content, but I'm going to now ask the most obvious question, that you were probably preparing for all day. And it's, how do we fix my team, the New Orleans Saints? And then I'll follow that up with the Raiders.
Well, Derek Carr ruined 2 teams at once.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We have the Derek Carr connection. I completely didn't even think of that before.
Can't stand Derek Carr. Even some Raider fans in the camp like Derek Carr. Ever since he was injured in 17 or 16, he never came back the same. He did have a lot of potential, a lot of talent. He was a little nervous back there. He was not the same since he got hurt. Yeah, the Saints and the Raiders are both in a pretty ugly spot at the moment. Yeah.
Well, at least you've got Ashton Genty.
And Brock Bowers, both
Brock
of them
Bowers.
but it's a shame. I mean, Geno's just ruining it. Our defense is playing pretty well. It's a Geno. You cannot win football games throwing 3 interceptions. You can't win football games throwing interceptions on the first drive. It just kills your team right then. I mean, they've played halfway decent besides the terrible throws. But yeah, the Saints have, who's your young quarterback? You drafted a young quarterback.
Tyler Shuck, who I think that if we fall to the Giants, Spencer Rattler will probably be out. I mean, if we fall to the Giants, we're 0-5 and Rattler will be 0-11 as a starter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, at some point, the Giants are not an elite team. Losing to the Bills last week in Buffalo, that's a good team. But we've lost to teams that are not exactly, Super Bowl winning teams. And, we're not showing a whole lot of improvement. I think that they started Rattler because if they start Shuck and Shuck struggles, then it's like, what, we're going to now pull Shuck. They got to start with Rattler, let Rattler flame out or do great, but he's kind of flaming out. He doesn't look terrible, but he's just not the guy. He's not the guy.
I can't think of his name right now. You guys have a stud receiver that was a stud, top 5, and he cannot stay healthy. Who am I thinking of?
Chris Olave, probably.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was a great receiver and he cannot stay healthy the last few years. And now it seems like his time might be done.
Yeah. Classic Ohio State receiver, like Michael Thomas, all these guys. What the Bucks now have.
Yep.
How do you pronounce
Tough
his
name to say? Tough name to say. Sounds good enough.
Something like that. Aguba. We'll go with that. Michael.
I'll make you say it.
But yeah, it's like, we just can't seem to get over the hump. And at least with the Raiders have some bright spots, but you guys are in a tougher division. You got the Chargers and you got Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's brutal.
It feels like a waste of talent. You only have Max Crosby there so long. I know the division's very good. I mean, just the Chiefs alone, anyone in the same division. And then, the other 2 teams are the Broncos getting Bo Nix helped them a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Nix was the steal of that draft at 12 or whatever. He was like the 5th quarterback.
The Raiders had the very next pick. I don't think they would have drafted him, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, Bowers and Genty, they're going to be good for a long time.
Even Jacoby Myers is a good number. He's proven to be number 1. Geno can't figure it out early. Yeah, he just can't figure it out. He's got a lot of talent on that offense. Cannot figure it out.
Well, the search continues. We'll have to think on that. That's something to ponder. We'll have a whole season. I'm already looking at mock drafts for next year. That's and sadly, we're going to the game. We're going to do the game against the Patriots. So this is kind of a crazy. I'll wrap this quick story in with this, and we'll move on to the next question. But through this channel, an SVP of the New Orleans Saints reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we have a card shop out in New Orleans. We love your channel." And he didn't realize I'm a season ticket holder too. So we go to a couple games a year. I sell off the rest of the tickets.
Same. I'm a Raiders season ticket. Same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Same sort of deal. Yeah. So he's like, let me know when you're in town and I'll get you guys down on the field before the game. And my youngest son is autistic. He's 10 and he is like lost his mind. when he heard that news. So like,
did you go, or is that where you're going this weekend?
We're going in 10 days. So not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So even it's sad because it's like the worst Saints team maybe like in 30 years, but it'll still be.
Kamara is still there. That'll be fun. I mean, yeah, those guys are going to be huge on the field. On the field, you're going to be they're going to be so big.
Oh, last year we sat. So my brother upgraded our seats to like front row, basically like behind the bench. And it's so funny when you're watching on TV, you're like, God, how did he miss that tackle? God, like why are our guys so slow out there? They're running like the speed, the field level speed of these guys. When you get down there and you're watching, you might have seen it too, but like when I watched it from that angle, I was like, whoa, like this is a way faster game than what it looks like.
World-class athletes.
It's insane. Yeah, it's really insane. Okay, we're going to go back to a content question here. So I'm going to guess, well, I think just by watching some of your stuff, I think we're on opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to where hobby content is these days. I've talked about this and you've talked about it too. I think we're in a great spot with a lot of variety is what I've said. And part of this is I remember 5 years ago when I started making content, part of the reason why I was able to gain traction quickly is because there was literally nothing. There was no competition in the space for content. There just wasn't a lot of people doing YouTube content for cards. There was people, but there wasn't a lot of people, especially doing consistent videos all the time. It was like, I felt like it was me and like a handful of people. And that's really where, it didn't necessarily have to be good. It was just there. And so the consistency really helped me kind of get a jump start. But I've heard you like, a lot of the content nowadays is just not entertaining. But recently you were grading out content creators. I was on a board with others. And how in the hell did Mike Gios and Sports Card Nonsense score a C and I scored a D? We both take sponsorships, and yet he is completely irrelevant on YouTube. What happened?
Well, Gio's new sponsorship is going to be he has a new sponsorship, put him down to a D or F, let me tell you. So he'll be yeah, that's fair. That's fair. D. Okay. I can. Do I want to go on here? You already heard me say this, so why not? It's like I find a lot of it repetitive in a video to put out a video, and then you mix that with the sponsorships, and it just sometimes come off. It's a video to make a video, not necessarily something that's strong or you believe. However, you and Neo both say, hey, we're kind of just doing the news. People want to, we don't need to grow huge. People watch, people do tune in, people do follow. But yeah, I do wish there was some more. I mean, you two are bigger names in the space, so you represent some of that content represents cards in the YouTube space.
Yeah. Well,
your question was more focused on Gio. Gio is now a big shill, so Gio can get an F from me now. He is welcome anytime on the show, but really, he gets an F.
I feel like you gave him a gift C. It was kind of like, you know what, man, you've come on the show, we've got some camaraderie, and I'm going to give you a C, and that's fair enough.
Okay, here's my backup with Gio. I've listened to the podcast, I've listened to stuff. He's never like, hey, come break with us. He's never pushing his stuff, and so I can, because so many do push their stuff. I'm not in reference to you, but so I respect that a little bit, that he's not just shoving his thing down your throat, so that was but fair. I tried to, Arbitrage was in there. There was some people there at the time. I tried my best not to gift anything, but sure, a personal relationship maybe went from a D to a C now that he took the new sponsor. F.
Well, I can't talk smack on sponsorships, obviously, but I have.
His is way worse than anything you've taken.
For everybody that gives me crap about, you take money from literally anybody. I did not take. The Courtyard folks reached out. The Arena Club folks reached out. I did not take any money from those folks.
Hey, now.
And they do pay well. They do pay well. So yes, the idea that I just take everything, no, I don't. I took Magic Spoon cereal over Club. No, but honestly, that stuff is just actually. I thought that was so. An agency reached out to me and they were like, so. There's a couple of companies that, are interested in doing something. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, what do we have? And they brought up Magic Spoon. And I was like, oh, that sounds actually awesome. Cause I know that brand and I'd love to, do something with them. And the other one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a healthy vape company.
Oh, okay. Like healthy vape.
And I was like, maybe I don't like vaping is
cereal was a better angle.
Let's go cereal. Yeah.
You got a lot of crap for that cereal.
I get a lot of crap for everything though. It's like, but that's why I asked you that in the beginning, because whether it's a hobby company or I thought honestly, like, hey, I'm going outside of cards. Like, why would you, like, what's the issue? Like, you know, if anything, you should be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, if it was Chipotle, would you be like, son of a bitch eats burritos? I knew he was an asshole. You know, like, that's literally like what some of these people do. It's crazy.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It really is. Okay, so you sort of answered why I got a D, but that's okay. It sounds to me the answer was Gio is actually moving down with me in the DF.
Anyone that took that sponsorship, which it just came out today, so I don't want to say it yet, but he made it official today on his podcast. Yeah, that's an F company. That's company of an F.
Yeah, the last show I watched of Sports Card Nonsense, it was like their first one they put on YouTube because I don't listen to podcasts, but it was like they did like a buy sell episode about buying quarterback cards in August, which was really, I was just like, damn, is it like 2020 or 2021? Like nobody is literally buying that. And then he came back and he was like, oh, this was taken out of context and whatever. Literally on the thumbnail, it was like buy, sell, and it had like a quarterback card on it. He's like, it was only like 8 minutes of our episode. I'm like, brother, it was on your thumbnail. Yeah, but whatever.
But they don't, you know, he doesn't do the thumbnails or the social media, so he doesn't know.
Oh, okay. Well, they let him down on that one. All right, we'll give Gio a little bit of a break.
By the way, I've come at him with that you know, sometimes they don't represent him the way he should be represented. Sometimes the little short they make of Sports Card Nonsense is so bogus, and I know it doesn't even but you can easily take any 30 seconds, minute out of context or make a sound story. So whoever's doing the social media, yeah, they want to do it for the most exposure, and so I don't think it represents him well. I do, you know, you should. He's a busy guy, but it's better. I'm sure you do all your stuff, or maybe you have an editor, but I do my stuff. You know, it's at least you're in control of everything.
Yeah, one man show, and that's kind of a good. Like with the sponsorships too, it's like, I don't necessarily, you know, as far as money with sponsorships, I might not be driving the, you know, every last dollar out of their marketing budget. I'm not really trying to do that, but it's me and Alf that are divvying up the sponsorship money. You know, like there's not a team. It's not.
And a lot's going to you, not to Alf.
There's not a bunch of people taking a cut. So yeah, Alf is taking everything. I'm taking like 10%.
Oh, you gotta ditch Alf.
I know Alf is he's selfish over there. I'm staring at him. All right. So we'll end it. We'll give a little bit of a cupcake question here. We'll move it back over to cards and collectibles. One thing I did notice is just looking at your backdrop, you're not just a card guy. You're kind of like I feel like we have in common the 80s, 90s nostalgia stuff. I don't know how old you are. I'm 44, but I can kind of see it's kind of like the same zone of, you know, nostalgia, whether it's wrestling or Kobe Bryant or, you know, it's like the same world. And so with cards, you know, is that just kind of a part of a larger collection of different things that you're into? And how does that go? Like pop culture stuff?
It's a great question. No, I started collecting cards when I was 5 years old. I'm a huge sports fan. I am cards. This is for the channel. I do have I have a lot of the 89 because I was as a kid, the toys I played were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh yeah. So, you know, you could get a lot of that vintage stuff pretty cheap, some cool stuff. Great. Awesome. Yeah. Is that an original one right there?
Yeah, it's from 1988.
Yeah, okay. See, I have a Splinter. No, that is awesome.
I like the ones that are in box. You do have to pay a little bit. Yeah. But it just makes me think of like Kmart, you know, Walmart, seeing them all there.
Oh, it's to go back. No, I worked at a card shop when I was 16. I don't have a huge toy collection. You see what's behind me. I have a little more than that, but not big. The wrestling stuff, I don't have much wrestling stuff, but I have a stupid amount of cards, not a lot of value, but I collected my whole life, and I probably bought hobby, blasters or a few hobbies up until 2017, 2018. And then they all of a sudden doubled and tripled. And I was priced out. I mean, I wasn't going to go. The last big rookie class I hit was the Patrick Mahomes rookie year or a Cody Bellinger rookie year. Ever since then, I didn't like how much was printed of it. I started to think there's just too much of it and at the price. So I stopped purchasing stuff like that around then. But no, my collection is 95% cards, 5% other.
Have you always been in Las Vegas?
No, I grew up California my whole life. I moved here 8 years ago. So I'm 40. So I would have moved here at 32. I got into the master's program at UNLV. And so I came out here and I've been here since. I missed some green, but California is you can't get ahead there. I mean, it's just so expensive and I'll never get ahead. So I have family there, but I'll probably never live there again.
Now, do you have buddies that collected cards or other collectibles that you stay in touch with, or is like the YouTube and the viewership kind of the way that you can kind of
Yeah, I didn't have a
camaraderie?
ton of, none of my friends were serious card people. Some get in, get out, but growing up, no, none of my friends were sports card people. I have some couple, my uncle, who I no longer, he got divorced, my aunt, and we don't really conversate, but he was someone we trade cards, talk cards. Yeah. And in my personal life now, no, not a lot, a ton of friends that are sports card people. So yeah, it'd mainly be the content, the people
Well,
in the
that's cool.
lives and stuff.
It is kind of a connecting tissue. The content,
Yeah,
it
it
brings you,
is.
it like all of a sudden connects you with a lot of people. And you were at the National too, and you saw like, damn, it's like it's like a whole different world out at the National.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's a getaway, and it's Disneyland for card people.
Yeah. Are you going to go back next year, or is that kind of like, I want to experience it and I'm good?
No, I had a good time. I had a blast. I went by myself, but I loved the cards. I love searching. I love getting content. I love seeing what it was about I also felt that helped my channel. It helped me feel more credible going. It helped me get eyes on it. It helped me see it firsthand. It helped me see what was going on in that breaker space. It helped me get eyes on it. So I hope to go back again. Yeah. And if it's, I have summers off. So if it's in that period, I'm off work. So I'd like to go again.
Awesome. So you've kind of, the one thing that I like that you've set up on your channel, you're doing a lot of lives, but you're kind of, it's an attempt to bring people together, all different types. And the call-in show, it's working on your channel where people, now, I think the one thing we talked about this off camera, like in a perfect world, you would have like a variety of different caller ins, but it's so hard though. Cause I've tried this too, where I've announced it, not necessarily like putting the StreamYard in the live, but hey, if anyone wants to come on, let me know. And like, then I don't hear from anybody, and it's like, it's tough to be able to schedule it up and be able to pull it off. You have been able to pull it off pretty well though, where you've had some variety. You have Mike Gio, or you have Ziggy, or you have Charles. I didn't know who Charles was until he called into your show.
Giving Charles some love. Hey now. Okay.
Yeah. Mike Petty. I know Mike Petty. I've known him for years. He
character, fun guy.
Like a hate-love. It's a love-hate thing. He like doesn't like me, but like, yeah, like he likes me as a person, doesn't like my content because it's sponsored or whatever. That's okay.
Love Petty.
But there's a lot of folks. I do like how there's some variety on that live stream.
I hope it keeps going that way. That's the hope.
Yeah.
The hope is that more people call, and inspires maybe other to call, or builds up the rate for others to call, because people do call into sports radio. People, but it takes. We'll see where that goes. But you are right. It's the hope is to keep getting a variety of different, and not just content people. I'd love to get people that are making 30, 40 grand a year, and how do they fit in, or how do they, people want to hear that too. So a variety would be awesome. Yes.
One thing I was trying to do as an attempt for like a new piece of content is to put together a monthly episode. And this is not anything like, I was hoping I could get enough to where I could just do this once a month. But the idea is I asked viewers, hey, could you make like a 30-second to 3-minute video talking about your favorite card at the moment and why it's your favorite card, what's so great about the player, or the, like the set, and send it to me, and I'll make a compilation of all these videos. And I thought that would be kind of something different in the sports card world, where you just don't really see that. You don't really see somebody like just different collectors kind of going through their own deal, because the viewers watch, but they might not have time to do a YouTube. They might not want to do a YouTube, but that could be a way where they could like be on TV, or whatever, and showcase a cool card. They could do it once a month or whatever.
There was a channel doing that a lot. I think it was Chris Sewell. I could be wrong on that. This was years ago, 3 or 4 years. And so, but that's a long time ago. I would say try it. I don't see how that hurts, and I think there could be a viewership for that. Yeah.
I got one video actually right before we went on. There was an email where it's like, hey, I made the video. And then there's a couple other guys that were like, I'll make a video and send it to you. The other thing I was thinking too, is it could be a way to like, if you're a dealer, but you mostly sell on IG, for example, you could show me your favorite card, and then you put your IG handle, and it benefits that person as well. Yeah. Like, hey, check out my IG. I've got cards for sale, or I'm trying to, or I'm trying.
Now you're going to get that push that you're going to get that push, but hey, if you do that route, oh, you're sponsoring these people, or something. Maybe not. By the way, you're giving love. You're trying to show love.
Oh, and it wouldn't be charging, and it wouldn't be charging anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The whole idea would be, because look, we're all like a lot. Well, not we're all, but a lot of people are mini dealers. It's like you're buying cards, but you're also trying to maybe flip some cards to buy PC cards or whatever. So, you know, if we can all work together on it. I don't know. I thought that would be kind of fun, but it might take a while to get that going, but I'm going to try to do it. We'll see if it happens. But what sorts of gaps are you seeing in card content? I know that, you know, like we said, you know, there's, you know, kind of a lot of repetition. Is there something that you would like to see that maybe you can't really pull off just based on timing, you know, based on like your own setup? Is there anything you've thought of where you're like, damn, if this existed, I would definitely watch it?
That is a great question. It is one thing I find that's very hard in cards is to come up. It can be dry and boring. If you go to a card website, like a sports news digest or sports, you know, it's boring. It's dry. This stuff wouldn't make the front page. It wouldn't even make the third page. So it is difficult. It is very difficult coming up with interesting, viewable content. That is a great question. Off the top of my head, I'm blanking, because I don't want to see more people at card shows, and I can't think of something I would want to see at a card show. It's hard. That is a great question I have to think about, because I guess I take a certain lane, but some of the stuff I make is what I want to see. You know, it is what I think needs to be heard or said. It's not said enough. So maybe I can't think of a specific, and okay, let's put it this way. There are some guys talking the truth. I hear a lot of great things about blabbing sports cards. I think they do a podcast together. Enough stuff is not created for YouTube. They might have very great thoughts, intentions. They might be very smart in cards, but what they're missing is my editing. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff, and not to be, but so much stuff. And that's why we all loved sports card. Even if we didn't agree with them, they were funny. Their editing was top notch. And so there's so much there's not enough stuff. And I guess I have my answer here. There's not enough sports card stuff that's done in a way where it's also meant for YouTube content. And the guys that do it, like Jeff and whatever, I don't, you know, his content is so over the top and to one way. So I'd love to see some of these channels that are smart, that do get love, that do have a following, make it more YouTube. You know, that's what'll reach a better audience. I have so many people that don't collect cards that watch my stuff because it's entertaining. It's interesting, you know? So I guess there's the entertainment value from the genuine people is really missing. That's where I'd go with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you on that. So what's interesting is I think, and I told you this at the National. So I did end up turning my second channel into the back to the 80s, 90s. Do you remember this?
Oh, you did it. Of course I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Back to the 80s, 90s. And it's just basically like, you know, the complete history of Masters of the Universe, or complete history of Beavis and Butthead, or whatever. And I do, like, you know, do a video on it. But in those videos, I do try to add in more clips.
That's what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do add in more clips. It does take me a little bit longer. Now, am I doing it to the extent that you're doing it? No, but I'm also just trying to like feel my way through that world and see like, what can I, like, what's too much, what's not enough. And it's kind of a fun ride, just trying to figure it out. You're right about
that. Because people say there's too much, you become Family Guy. So there can't be too much. And the other thing I want to say is, in the beginning of your channel, one of the reasons I connected so hard with you in the beginning was you did have some Jim Carrey stuff, or you did have some funny movies. They're very short, but it was enough. And so maybe throw those back in. I can't imagine, you know, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough for me to connect.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll make that promise that if you start watching back again, now on these sorts of things, I won't necessarily throw it in all the time. I do have, wait a second. Do I have my media assets over here? Hold on. I have to do this. I have to do this because you're on.
Join my crew. You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
All right. So we threw in a clip, and I've got a few other ones. Wait, here we go.
Let's see who's got balls. Come join.
There's Brian Gray.
Oh, you just taught me something. Hey, now you just taught me something. So that's on the media assets.
Yeah, I think that works for the pre-recorded.
Oh my God,
I do it on the live streams, but I hope that works. Like I'm recording.
Oh, you're not sure if it works in live.
Well, no, it definitely works in live.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, so if you add, I've got like 7 or 8 clips that are added to media assets over here.
Thank you.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
You just elevated my show, so that's great.
Oh, yeah, because you've been only doing sound effects.
I did not realize you could throw video clips in there. That is hilarious.
Yep. So I can't believe I taught you something about
did
editing. So
learning
there you go.
every day.
So yeah, okay. Well, that's my promise. I'll throw in. I need to do, you know, and the Jim Carrey clips and stuff. Like Jim Carrey, like helped me through my childhood. Like when I was down and out of my childhood, if Jim Carrey didn't exist, it would have been a struggle, man.
Lloyd, what are you doing?
It feels like you're running at an incredible rate, Harry.
It would have been a struggle.
The goddamn pen is blue. I don't know if that does. Okay, all right.
I'm old enough. I saw Ace Ventura like in the movie theater when I was 13, and me and my brother were doing like all the impressions, and my dad was like, "What the hell is wrong with you guys?" But
same, absolute same.
All right, man. Well, we're at almost 35 minutes. Actually, it'll be over 35 minutes when I throw my ad is about a minute long, so we're gonna when I throw that in.
I'll stay quiet on that one.
Just for you. That was actually perfectly timed because you're like, wait, what? Did you run an ad? And the ad's going to run right.
That was funny. That was funny.
It's going to be perfect. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. For anybody that doesn't know Professor Sports Cards, check out his YouTube. He's got all sorts of different things going on, different guests. The channel is growing a lot of good stuff going on. Any content things you want to shout out? Anything coming up, Jason? Before
I appreciate. I mean, I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5. So, and the lives have been fun. They've been a lot of fun.
And you've been doing a lot of interviews too. I was bummed. I tuned in for a little bit to see if SCV was going to pop in the other night.
I was bummed too.
And he didn't. Did you ever hear back from him or no?
I did hear back yesterday just saying there's 2 time zones. He apologized. It was somewhat my fault. I didn't realize Tennessee had 2 different time zones. But hopefully he comes on alive soon. Yeah. That was a bummer though, because that would have been fun, those 2 back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth is good stuff. All right, man. Well, thanks again. Hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
It was fun. Hey, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.